Okay, grade 8 mathematics students. We are now on the third quarter of the grading period, and one of the topic for the third quarter is the mathematical system. So first is we are going to define what is a mathematical system. A mathematical system is a set with one or more binary operations defined on it. And a binary operation is an operation that combines two elements of a set to give a single element. For example, if you have the two elements 3 and 4, if you are going to multiply 3 times 4 equals 12, so 12 is a single element. Or if you have the two elements 5 and 2, if you are going to add 5 plus 2 equals 7, a single element. So that is what we mean by binary operations. Combining two elements, the result will be equal to one element. Okay, now mathematical system has some properties, and one of the property is the closure property. A system or a set is said to be closed if all the elements of the set or of the system is being combined to give an answer also in a system or in a set. For example, if you have the set of letters A, B, and C, if you are going to multiply A times B and the result is C, then A, B, and C are elements of the set or of the system. Okay, let's have an example in numbers. For example, if you have the set of numbers from 1 to 8, okay, so we have, so therefore, the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, if you are going to multiply 2 times 3 or 3 times 2, the product is 6. And 6 is on the set, one of the elements of the set. Okay? How about if we are going to multiply 3 times 4? 3 times 4 equals 12. But 12 is not one of the elements of the set. The same thing with 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 7 is 35, 6 times 7 is 42. They are no longer one of the elements of the set. In that case, if the product is no longer one of the element of the set, therefore, the system or a set is no longer or is not a closed. So meaning to say, in order for the system or for a set to be closed, all the elements multiplied randomly by themselves, the product must be one of the elements of the system or of the set in order for the system or for the set to be closed. So that is what we mean by closure property. Another property of mathematical system is the identity property. In identity property, there is what we call the identity element. Now, what is an identity element? An identity element is an element that leaves every element of the set unchanged. For example, if you are going to multiply 1 times A or A times 1 equals A, where 1 now stands for the identity element. So meaning, if any number multiplied by 1 is equal to a number being multiplied, then 1 is the identity element. So in multiplication, we can say that 1 is the identity element. So what does it mean? That any number multiplied by 1 is equal to a number being multiplied. For example, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 100 is 100. But in addition, the identity element is 0. What does it mean? That any number added to 0 is equal to the number being added. For example, 0 plus 5 is 5, 0 plus 10 is 10, 0 plus 100 is 100. So that is the identity property of mathematical system. Okay, another property is what we call the commutative property. An operation is said to be commutative if the order in which the elements are combined do not change the result. For example, if you are going to multiply A times B equals B times A, or if you are going to represent it by numbers, 3 times 4 equals 12, which is also equal to 4 times 3 equals 12. So, meaning, if you interchange the position of the element, the result will not be changed. Okay? Another property of mathematical system is associative property. Now, an operation is said to be associative if, when combining the elements, the grouping of the elements do not change the result. For example, if you are going to multiply the product of the quantity open A times B close times C equals A times the product of the quantity open B times C close. Okay, if we are going to represent it by numbers, the product of the quantity open 5 times 4 close times 3 is equal to 5 times the product of the quantity open 4 times 3 close. So it means that 5 times 4 is 20 times 3 is 60 must be equal to 4 times 3 is 12 times 5 is 60. So therefore, it means that numbers associated by any element to any element inside the quantity does not change the result. Okay, the last property of mathematical system is the distributive property. Okay, an operation is said to be distributive when given two operations, say multiplication and addition. Then multiplication is distributive over addition. For example, A times the sum of the quantity open B plus C close is equal to the product of the quantity open A times B close plus the product of the quantity open A times C close. If we are going to represent it by number, let's say 3 times the sum of the quantity open 4 plus 5 close must be equal to the product of the quantity open 3 times 4 close plus the product of the quantity open 3 times 5 close. So it means that 4 plus 5 is 9 times 3 is 27. Now in the right side, 3 times 4 is 12 plus 3 times 5 is 15. Adding the two, 12 plus 15 is 27. So therefore, 27 equals 27. So it means that an element outside the quantity distributed to all the elements inside the quantity does not change the result. Okay? So those are the properties of the mathematical system. So in learning task 1, you are going to state or to identify or to give what property do the following equation have. So that is your task. Next, okay, one system that is very much applicable to the mathematical system is what we call the modular arithmetic. Modular arithmetic is a system of arithmetic for integers where numbers wrap around when reaching a certain number, certain value called the modulus. Now, a modulus is also known as the absolute value, or it is the residue or the leftover after dividing a certain number. Okay, a familiar use of modular arithmetic is in the 12-hour clock, in which the day is divided into two 12-hour periods. Example, if the time is 7 o'clock now, then 8 hours later, it will be 3 o'clock. Simple addition would result in 7 plus 8 equals 15. But clocks wrap around every 12 hours because the hour number starts over after it reaches 12. This is arithmetic modulo 12. In terms of addition below, 15 is congruent to 3 modulo 12. So, 15 o'clock on a 24-hour clock is displayed 3 o'clock on a 12-hour clock. So it means further that 15 is congruent to 3 modulo 12. Okay, so modular arithmetic will be more understood effectively if we are going to represent it in tabulating a table. Okay, for example, we are going to draw how to draw a table in addition of modulo 5. Now, we have the modulo 5. It is the one, the modulo number is the one that tells us how many elements must the table contains. Okay, since the modulo 5, so we must have 5 elements. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But why? The last element must be n minus 1, wherein n is the modulo number. In this case, our modulo number is 5. So therefore, 5 minus 1 is 4, which is our last element. So we say that the modulo number tells us the number of elements in the system or in the table or in a set. But if we are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, there are only 4 elements. So we have to include 0 as one of the element. Okay, so whatever number written on the horizontal line or in the horizontal location must be written also in the vertical location. So in the table, we have the plus sign. So it means that the operation is addition. Now, all the elements or all the numbers written in red color, they are what we call the leftover or the residue, modulo residue. They are the numbers after dividing. The result is the number written in red. Okay, for example, so any number in our previous discussion from the mathematical properties, any number added to 0 is equal to the number being added. That is the identity property in addition. So in 0 blue, this is 0 blue, plus 0 white equals 0 red. And 0 blue plus 1 white equals 1 red. And 0 blue plus 2 white equals 2 red. And 0 blue plus 3 white equals 3 red. And blue 0 plus 4 white equals 4 red. So that is very elementary. There is nothing to question about it. So the same thing with the 0 white, all the numbers added to the blue numbers is equal to the number being added. So therefore, 0 white plus 0 blue is 0. 0 white plus 1 blue is 1 red. 0 white plus 2 blue is 2 red. 0 white plus 3 blue is 3 red. 0 white plus 4 red is 4. 0 white plus 4 blue is 4 red. So that is very elementary. Now, take a look on if we are going to add 0 plus 4. So blue 1 plus 4 white equals 0. Why? Because 1 plus 4 is 5 divided by 5. Because 5, you cannot put 5 because the elements in the system or in the table is only up to 4. So you have to put the element that is in the element in the set or in the table. Since 1 plus 4 is 5 is no longer in the set or in the table, you cannot put 5. So you are going to divide. 1 plus 4 is 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. That's why you have 1 plus 4 is 0. Another is, for example, we have 3 blue plus 3 blue, you have 1 red. Why? Because 3 blue plus 3 white equals 6. 6 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay, the same thing with, if you are going to add 3 blue plus 4 white equals 2 red. Why? Because 3 plus 4 is 7. Divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay, last explanation or 2 explanations we have. 4 blue plus 3 red plus 3 white is equal to 2 red. Why? 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. 7 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay, last. If you are going to add 4 blue plus 4 white equals 3 red. Why? Because 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. So that is how we tabulate a table for addition modulo 5. Okay, how about the tabulation of multiplication modulo 5? So elements of addition modulo 5 must be the same of multiplication modulo 5 because you have the modulo number is 5, so 5 minus 1 is 4, so the same thing, the same arrangement. Okay, the only difference is on the upper left-hand corner, we have the asterisk symbol, and the asterisk is the symbol for multiplication, so therefore the operation is multiplication. Now, we say that any number multiplied to 0 or multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, if you are to multiply 0 below, to all the numbers in white must all be equal to 0. And the same thing of 0 white multiplied to any number in the blue one is also equal to 0. So 0 times the number on the blue color must be equal to 0. Now, blue 1 times 1 white is equal to 1 red. 1 blue times 2 white equals 2 red. 1 blue times 3 white equals 3 red. And 1 blue times 4 white equals 4. That is elementary, and also that is the property of multiplication, that when you multiply any number to 1, the result is equal to the number being multiplied. So the same thing with this one. 1 times to the number of blue color is equal to the number being multiplied. Now, let's take a look on 2 times 2 is 4. Yes, that's correct. But 2 in blue times 3 white equals 1 red. Why? So 2 times 3 in ordinary multiplication is 5. You cannot put 5 because the elements is only up to 4. So what you have to do is to divide the product by 5. So 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay, another example is 2 blue times 4 white is equal to 3 red. Why? 2 times 4 is 8. You cannot put 8 because the elements are only up to 4. What you should do is 2 times 4 is 8 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. Okay, for example, blue 4. 4 of blue times 3 of white equals 2 red. Why? 4 times 3 is 12, but you cannot put 12 because the element is only up to 4. So what you have to do is 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 5 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10, 12 minus 10 is 2. For example, we are going to multiply 4 blue times 4 white equals 1 red. Why? 4 times 4 is 16. You cannot put 16 because the elements are only up to 4. So therefore, you have to divide. 16 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 16 minus 15 is 1. So that is how we tabulate the multiplication modulo 5. Okay, next. Okay, now we are going to show that 5 times 6 is equals 30, which is congruent to 2 modulo 7, and 4 times 4 equals 16 is congruent to 2 modulo 7. So we have to show 5 blue. So 5 blue times 6 white equals 2 red. And 4 blue times 4 white is equal to 2 red. So meaning 30, so 5 times 6 is 30, must be equal to 4 times 4 is 16, is congruent to 2 modulo 7. Okay, that is how we show, because 5 times 6 is 30, so we have 30. 4 times 4 is 16, so they are the same answer, so they are congruent to modulo 7. Okay, learning task 2, you are going to complete the table below for addition of modulo 7. Okay, further example. Okay, let's complete below the table of multiplication in modulo 8 on the set of numbers 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, so multiplication, so we have on the upper left hand corner the asterisk, meaning the operation is multiplication. Now, multiply 2 blue times 2 white is 4. 2 blue times 3 white is 6. 2 blue times 5 white is 10. You cannot put 10 because the last element is 7. So, it must be all the elements, the residues must be one of the element or must be one of the element in the set or in the table. So, you cannot put 10. So, what we are going to do is 2 times 5 is 10. Divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay, for example, 2 blue times 7 white is 14. So, 14 divided by 8 is 2, 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 14 minus 8 is 6. Okay, next. 3 blue times 2 white is 6. You can put 6 because the last element is 7. Okay, 3 blue times 3 white is 9. So 9, you cannot put 9 because the last element is 7. So 9 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Okay, 3 blue times 5 white equals 15. 15 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. Next, we have 3 blue times 7 white equals 21. 21 divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 21 minus 16 is 5. Okay, next, 5 blue times 2 white is equal to 10. 10 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. O next, 5 blue times 3 white is 15. 15 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. Okay, next, 5 times 5. 5 blue times 5 white is 25. 25 divided by 8 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 25 minus 24 is 1. Next, 5 blue times 7 white is 35. 35 divided by 8 is 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 35 minus 32 is 3. Okay, next. 7 blue times 2 white is 14. 14 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 14 minus 8 is 6. Next, 7 times 3. 7 blue times 3 white is 21. 21 divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 21 minus 16 is 5. Now, 7 blue times 5 white equals 35. 35 divided by 8 is 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 35 minus 32 is 3. Now, 7 blue times 7 white equals 49. 49 divided by 8 is 6. 6 times 8 is 48. So, 49 minus 48 is 1. So, that is how we tabulate multiplication in modulo 8 with the set of numbers 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, next. So for the learning task 3, you are going to complete the table or to draw the table of modulo 7 in addition, and you are going to calculate the operation of adding numbers using the table. So that is all for today. If you have any questions or queries, you may just send me a message in my messenger. Okay, thank you very much for listening or for attending this video.